Triple H is now head of creative in WWE, which means we could get some new stars pushed towards the top of the card, or certainly some superstars that perhaps we're not seeing on TV getting a renewed push. Certain superstars who've had great success in NXT, who Vince McMahon called up to RAW SmackDown, not ready to see the same hype and not give them the same push. It could all be about to change now in WWE with Triple H with the pencil. So without further ado, let's look at 10 names that could be pushed by Triple H in WWE. But just before we start, then please do hit the like button, share this video with a friend and subscribe to SCW as well. First name on the list is Shayna Baszler. Now we've already seen Shayna Baszler has a championship opportunity at the SmackDown Women's Championship against Liv Morgan at Clash of the Castle on September 3rd. And remember as well, during this build-up, Shayna Baszler has had a confrontation with Ronda Rousey, seeing Ronda Rousey's chaos in the moment in WWE. Shayna saying, this isn't how you do things to get what you want, and Ronda reminding Shayna, you used to be a killer. Is this the sign of we're going to get the Shayna Baszler of what we used to see in NXT? Someone that's ruthless, no remorse, someone that will break arms and do what she needs to do to be on top. One of the most dominant NXT Women's Champions of all time. Whether it becomes a team with Ronda Rousey or opponents against Ronda Rousey at some stage, I'm all here for it. I was a big fan of how Shayna Baszler was booked in NXT. We've not really seen that Shayna Baszler on Raw and SmackDown. There was a brief moment where she came in, or was it biting the neck of Becky Lynch and of course dominating the Elimination Chamber, but it quickly changed after that. But now Triple H is in charge, I can see Baszler getting a renewed push and a new direction in WWE, and I'm excited for it. Number 2 on the list is Ciampa, and we're already seeing quick changes to Ciampa with Triple H having the pencil in less than 3 weeks. Ciampa of course came up after WrestleMania, was sort of a silent assassin almost, wasn't given any time to talk, was just attacking superstars from behind. He ended up becoming the Miz's sidekick as well, not really doing a lot to benefit Ciampa's career. But since Triple H has taken the pencil, Ciampa is talking very passionately, not just on digital exclusives, but actually on WWE programming. He's winning matches, getting opportunities at the United States Championship. He came down in Harley Race's robe, and of course, he had a great match with Bobby Lashley for the US Championship. In losing effort, he still got over massively, and I do think if Ciampa continues in this vein, Triple H can push him correctly. First off, I think Ciampa will go on to be a babyface, eventually breaking away from the Miz, and I think we could get Ciampa of what we saw in NXT, whether it's the babyface Ciampa that can, really get passionate promos out there and really invest into a storyline where you cheer him on as a babyface, or where you detest him and despise him as a heel, just like he did in his great feud with Johnny Gargano that went on for a number of years in NXT when he first turned his back on his team DIY. Number 3, Gunther. Now Gunther, to be fair, has had a fairly successful run on the main roster so far on SmackDown, quickly becoming the Intercontinental Championship. But if you believe reports that you see on the internet, Vince McMahon was not impressed with something he saw on the July 4th edition of Monday Night Raw and was weeks away from burying Gunther in front of our very eyes. Could you imagine Gunther not being pushed correctly by Vince McMahon? Yeah, I can as well. And it just goes to show that sometimes WWE would not deserve nice things. But now Triple H is in charge with the pencil, in charge with creative. As we can see, Gunther has continued to have a great run as Intercontinental Champion, and I expect it furthermore. I expect Gunther to be just like Walter was in NXT UK, eventually become a top guy in the company, a main event heel, a champion, someone that is hard to put down for the freak out. Gunther has all the tools to be everything that a top heel needs to be in WWE, and something that we'll be really excited to see. The chops, the matches, the likes against a Tyler Bate we've seen previously, a Tommaso Ciampa, we've seen match of the year candidates, even Ilya Dragunov as well. Gunther for me has all the tools it is to be a number 1 guy in WWE, and I think under Triple H that potentially will happen. Number 4, Karrion Kross. Kross is back in WWE, and he's back with everything that made him awesome in NXT. He's got Scarlett by his side, he's got the entrance, he's got the fearing presence, and he's not wasting any time than getting straight back in towards the main event picture, attacking Drew McIntyre, putting the tick-tock from Scarlett, the clock, to show that Roman Reigns' time as champion is coming to an end. Right now, Karrion Kross for me is going to be a big deal moving forward. I'm a big fan of his promos, big fan of the way he's presented as a presence, as a character. NXT Kross for me is mainstream. It could get over with an audience, and it can be world champion material. It's great to see that Karrion Kross is going to be done right this time on the main roster, unlike his last time when he was there on Monday Night Raw. And I think we all agree, the less said about that, the better. Number 5, Ricochet. And Ricochet, let's just say, is a once-in-a-generational talent. There is none out there that can do high-flying maneuvers like Ricochet. Things that we can't even dream of, he can execute with absolute perfection when he's going, flipping over the top rope and landing on his feet on the concrete floor. Whether he's hitting the 630, we're doing a perfect shooting star press. Ricochet is absolutely phenomenal. And the fact that already in a short couple of weeks with Triple H involved, he feels like a big deal very, very quickly. Yes, he was Intercontinental Champion earlier this year, but it felt meaningless, it felt unimportant. When Ricochet was in NXT, he had some standout takeover matches, and I believe with Triple H at the helm, I think Ricochet's time is coming again. Is it a top guy? No, I don't see that necessarily, but I see him being a standout attraction on each and every WWE show he attends. Number 6, Butch, aka Pete Dunne. Because Butch, let's be fair, since coming to SmackDown, has maximised his minutes and moments as part of the Brawling Brutes. I've actually thoroughly enjoyed the way that he runs around the ring, can't be contained. He is a psychopath and he plays the role very, very well. But if you go back to his NXT days, NXT UK, he was the first ever NXT UK champion. He held that championship for a very long time. He's a great technical wrestler. He's actually a masterclass in the ring when it comes to joint manipulation, submission. It's a beauty to watch, and do you know what? I think Butch is going to get more TV time under Triple H, more match time as well, and get a chance to showcase his abilities for the entire mainstream audience to see. Number 7, Kevin Owens. The prize fighter is back, closing off a comedic feud with Ezekiel in perfect fashion, hitting the powerbomb on the hardest part of the ring. It was a great way to write off Ezekiel for the time being, and it's a great way to show that KO is back on the map, doing what he does best. KO didn't wait for opportunities in NXT, he took them. He made sure he was NXT champion within 2 months of being there. He's not been a champion on Raw or SmackDown with the top title in over 5 years, and this seems criminal for a talent like Kevin Owens. Perhaps Vince McMahon wasn't willing to push him towards the top of the card, but I believe Triple H will be. We'll see the best of KO going forward, whether he remains being the prize fighter as a heel or he transitions back into a babyface role at some point. He's unbelievable on the mic, his ring skill can be unmatched. I think Kevin Owens can be one of the top talents once again in WWE. Number 8, Eos Guy. Eos Guy, of course, formerly Io Shirai in NXT, was a heavy favourite for Triple H, a long-term NXT Women's Champion. Eos Guy now has been called up already since Triple H has taken over creative with the pencil. There were rumours that she would be leaving WWE as well, but of course now in the group with Bayley in control, of course, along with Dakota Kai, who also has been brought back to the company and I think has a very bright future. Eos Guy, though, for me, could be someone that could be seen as one of the breakouts from this group when they eventually do break up. Eos Guy could be the one that could go into a babyface role and also then go on to win a championship in WWE. I wouldn't bet against it. Io Shirai is easily one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. It's great to see now she'll be on the main stage of WWE to showcase that each and every week. I cannot wait to see what is next in the future of Io Sky. Number 9, Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura in NXT was seen as a top guy by Triple H. In fact, the brand was built around him for the time he was there, having fantastic feuds with the likes of Samoa Joe, having an unbelievable debut against Sami Zayn. Of course, TakeOver Dallas, still one of my favourite NXT matches to this day. For me, Shinsuke Nakamura was presented and treated as a big deal in WWE, but it fell to grace very quickly when he was called up to SmackDown, of course losing twice to Jinder Mahal in championship matches, and of course then having the feud with AJ Styles, which didn't live up to the New Japan hype of the rivalry they had previously. Now that Triple H is in control, Shinsuke Nakamura potentially could be someone that could be pushed and elevated up the card once again. Yes, he lost to Gunn on SmackDown this past week in an Intercontinental Championship match, but there's no reason to say that Shinsuke Nakamura couldn't be pushed higher up the card going forward. Triple H knows how to present him to the audience. Could he do the same with SmackDown as he did in NXT? And number 10, Bobby Roode. That's right, not Robert Roode, I'm going Bobby Roode because, well, he was glorious in NXT. A former NXT champion, had an incredible entrance, had incredible music, and, well, it's kind of all faded away on Monday Night Raw. He was treated as a top guy in NXT, and I felt like he was going to be a big deal with that character on Raw. We just never got to see that character play out. He's been in, he was a kind of a squeaky clean babyface that just was an entrance, had nothing really going about it. He's been in a throwaway tag team with Dolph Ziggler for a number of years. Dolph now has returned to Raw, sort of been in the babyface role on his own of late. I hope that Bobby Roode is going to be repackaged back into the glorious one and we can see him back on our screens. Would it be a top champion in WWE? Well, many people did compare him to Triple H, so I would say never, but I definitely would see him back in the mid-card title area, and I do think he could be presented a lot better with Triple H as head of creative. And before I leave you today, one bonus wrestler, because you love a bit of bonus content, and also this superstar returns to WWE after I'd already recorded this video. So number 11 is Johnny Gargano. That's right, Johnny Wrestling is back and is on Monday nights in WWE. He proclaimed he wants to win the Intercontinental Championship. He wants to become the United States Champion. He wants to win the WWE Championship, and he wants to compete at a WrestleMania. Now with Triple H bringing him back, I can see him doing all of that and much more. A true underdog story, a natural babyface, someone who knew how to get to the top of NXT, someone who I think can do exactly the same in WWE. Of course, being on the same brand as well as Theory, of course, when they were part of The Way. Maybe Johnny might win the Money in the Bank briefcase. Who knows? Dexter Lumis is another one who used to be in The Way with Johnny Gargano. Of course, Dexter Lumis doing different stuff to what he did as part of The Way now. Of course, he kidnapped The Miz recently on Raw, but of course, be interesting to see if they were to interact once again. Will Candice LeRae as well, part of The Way, and Johnny Gargano's wife return to be with him on Raw at some stage. And of course, let's not forget Tommaso Ciampa is also on Monday nights, which were part of the team DIY. Will there be a team at some point? Will they fight forever? One thing's for sure, Johnny Wrestling on Monday Night Raw, he's going to get a big push in WWE, and I'm really excited to see him back. I thought the return was done absolutely perfect the way they did it, and yeah, I can't wait to see what he's going to do in WWE from the off. So that's what I think. Let me know what you think now in the comments below. Who do you think will be pushed under Triple H in WWE? There are so many names and it's such exciting times, and to be fair, there's many returns coming in as well, so I won't be surprised to see many of them come in and get a bright future as well. I look forward to interacting with you with your choices in the comments section. Please like and share this video and subscribe to SCW if you haven't already. Hit the notifications bell as well, you know, each and every time a new video is released. Thank you for watching as always. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Check out the videos now on the side of your screen.